Lesson 20, AHA, Asynchronous HTML and HTTP. In this lesson, you will learn how to use AHA, Asynchronous HTML and HTTP, to build AJAX-style applications without using XML. The topics we will cover in Lesson 20 are introducing AHA, creating a small library for AHA, and using myahalib.js. A great deal can be achieved with an AJAX application without using any XML at all. Many tasks, from simply updating the text on a page to dealing with complicated data structures, can be carried out using only the text string whose value is returned in the XML HTTP request object's response text property. It is possible to build complete and useful applications without any XML at all. In fact, the term AHA, or Asynchronous HTML and HTTP, has been coined for just these kinds of applications. There is no doubt that XML is an important technology with diverse and powerful capabilities. For complete AJAX applications with sophisticated data structures, it may well be the best, or perhaps the only, option. However, using XML can sometimes complicate the design of an application, including work involved in the design of custom schemas for XML data, cross-browser compatibility issues when using JavaScript's DOM methods. Performance may suffer from having to carry out processor-intensive XML parsing. Using AHA can help you avoid these headaches while offering a few more advantages too. Easy reworking of some pre-existing web pages. HTML can be easier to fault-find than XML. Use of CSS to style the returned information rather than having to use XSLT. Coming up, we'll package our AHA scripts into a neat external JavaScript file that we can call from our applications. Some AJAX applications, although complete and functional, involve embedding a lot of JavaScript code into the pages. Each application tends to contain similar functions. A method to create an instance of the XML HTTP request object, configure it, and send it. A callback function to deal with the returned text contained in the response text property. You can abstract these functions into simple JavaScript function calls, especially in cases where you simply want to update a single page element with a new value returned from the server. Consider this example. Most of this code should be recognizable. The function call AHA encapsulates the tasks of creating an instance of the XML HTTP request object, declaring the callback function, and sending the request. Note that instead of simply declaring, we instead used the JavaScript construct rec.onReadyStateExchange. This type of declaration allows us to pass an argument to the declared function, in this case identifying the page element to be updated. Call AHA also accepts an additional argument, callMessage. This argument contains a string defining the content that should be displayed in the target element while we await the outcome of the server request. This provides a degree of feedback for the user, indicating that something is happening on the page. In practice, this may be a line of text, such as, "Updating page, please wait a moment." Once again, however, you may choose to embed some HTML code into this string. Using an animated GIF image within an IMG element provides an effective way of warning a user that a process is underway. The callback function response AHA carries out the specific task of applying the string returned in the response text property to the inner HTML property of the selected page element, page element. This code has been packaged into a file named myahalib.js, which you can call from an HTML page, thus making the functions available to your AHA application. The next section shows some examples of its use. You should be familiar with the concept of JavaScript functions being located in an external file that is referred to within a page. That's how we'll use our new file, myahalib.js, using a statement in this form. We will then be at liberty to call the functions within the script whenever we want. This is the skeleton source code of such an HTML page. In this simple HTML page, a button element is used to create the event that causes the callAHA method to be called. This method places this text string in the div element having the ID display div and sends the asynchronous server call to this URL. When response AHA detects that the server has completed its response, the div element's content is updated using the value stored in response text. Instead of showing the please wait message, the div now displays whatever text the server has returned. We can demonstrate these techniques with a further simple AJAX application. This time, we'll build a script to grab the keywords meta tag information from a user-entered URL. This listing shows the HTML code. Finally, consider the server-side script. We present the selected URL to the PHP method get_meta_tags as an argument. This method is specifically designed to parse the meta tag information from HTML pages in the form of an associative array. In this script, the array is given the name tags, and we can recover the keywords meta tag by examining the array entry tags keywords. We can then check for the presence or absence of a keywords meta tag by measuring the length of the return string using PHP's string length method. When the file getKeywords.html is first loaded into the browser, we are presented with a display shown in this figure. Here we are invited to enter a URL. When we then click on the Fetch button, call AHA is executed and sends our chosen URL as a parameter to the server-side script. At the same time, the message "Please wait, loading content" is placed in the div container. Although possibly only visible for a fraction of a second, we now have a display like the one shown in this figure. Finally, when the server call has concluded, the contents of the response text property are loaded into the div container, producing the display in this figure. As it stands, myahalib.js is a simple implementation of AHA. There are many ways it could be improved and extended depending on how it is to be used. Rather than cover these in this lesson, we'll leave these for your own experimentation. Here are a few suggestions to get you started. Currently, only GET requests are supported. How might the functions be modified to allow POST requests too? Much of the user feedback discussed in Lesson 13, our first AJAX application, is not yet implemented in Response AHA. Is it possible for Call AHA to be modified to accept an array of page elements for updating and, with the aid of a suitable server-side script, process them all at once? Hopefully it has become clear that AJAX can achieve a lot of functionality without using any XML at all. By carefully using combinations of client-side coding in JavaScript and server-side scripting in your chosen language, you can create data schemes of high complexity. In simpler applications, where all you want to do is update the text of page elements, the XML HTTP request objects functionality may be abstracted into a JavaScript function library and called from an HTML page via straightforward methods. For some tasks, however, you need to leverage the power of XML. You can now test your knowledge in the quiz area, access the scripts we learned in the lab, or go through the lesson again. The choice is yours. Thank you for choosing Sam's Teach Yourself.